We normally do not waste time. We go straight to the crux of the matter. The person who today has the floor to tell us what it is that she's been doing with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection this 1 year, as I said, and 5 months, is the Honorable Otiku Afisa Jaba.
I wish to express my sincere gratitude to my own brother, the Minister, and the Ministry of Information for putting together this media interaction platform, and the press for honoring our invitation. I also want to take this opportunity to express my sincere and profound gratitude to the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for giving me, Otiku Afisa Jaba, the opportunity to serve the people of Ghana in his government and the Ministry of Gender. The objectives of our meeting this morning are to share our comprehensive programs, achievements, and challenges from February 2017 to the way forward for 2018. The Ministry of Gender, ladies and gentlemen, was created in 2013 by executive instrument to replace the Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs. The current ministry is an amalgam of the Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs, Department of Social Welfare, National Council on Persons with Disability, the Ghana School Feeding Program, the Social Protection Division, is all part of who we are today. The ministry has a vision to create a harmonious society in which the survival and development of the sexes, children, the vulnerable, and persons with disability are guaranteed. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection exists to contribute to the development of the nation by achieving gender equality and equity, to facilitate the enforcement of the rights of children, to promote the integration and protection of the vulnerable, excluded, and persons with disabilities in the development process, working with integrity, excellence, fairness, and respect for diversity. We have a mandate, and that is to ensure gender equality through the mainstreaming of gender considerations, to promote the welfare and the protection of our children, and empower the vulnerable, the excluded, the aged, and persons with disabilities through social protection interventions to contribute to national development. Achievements based on the programs and activities so far, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take this opportunity to highlight some of the achievements of our ministry. One is the development of laws and the establishment of our boards. We have been strengthening the legal frameworks to promote the mainstreaming of gender, children and social protection issues into the national development discourse. Bills such as the Affirmative Action Bill, the Aged Bill, the Foster Care and Adoption Regulations were submitted and approved by Cabinet in 2016. the change of government requires that they are resubmitted to the new cabinet of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for approval. In line with this, the ministry undertook consultations with stakeholders on the following bills and regulations to reflect the broader views of the public and government priorities for women, children, and the vulnerable. The foster care and adoption regulations are at their final stage of passage in Parliament. The Affirmative Action Bill has been resubmitted to Cabinet for consideration and approval. 4 bills, the Aged Persons, Social Protection, Persons with Disability, and the Ghana School Feeding Bills, will be taken through stakeholder consultations and subsequent submission to Cabinet for approval this year. Existing legal documents and policies, such as the Domestic Violence Act, the Human Trafficking Act, the Children's Act, are being translated into voice format in 11 Ghanaian languages for easy access by the general public. To ensure the achievement of the ministry's mandate, a number of boards have been constituted in line with Acts of Parliament to advise and provide technical support to the ministry. And these include the Ministerial Advisory Board, the Human Trafficking Management Board, Domestic Violence Management Board, the Cancer Board, Adoption Board, and the National Council on Persons with Disability Board. Number 2 is Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment. A series of programs have been undertaken to mark very important calendar events, including the International Women's Day, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which are marked with 3 national derbys and 30 national regional derbys. The ministry observed these days with various programs, including derbys, walks, and reviews to look at where we are today after Beijing. The celebration of these calendar events created huge awareness on current, previous, and emerging issues affecting women, children, and other vulnerable groups. The Ghana National Plan of Action on the UN Resolution 1325 on women, peace, and security has been reviewed to ensure the full representation and active participation of women in conflict, prevention, resolution, peace, negotiation, mediation, crisis, and security management at all levels of the Ghanaian society. 3, a capacity building training workshop was organized for 28 gender desk officers from other ministries, departments, and agencies, and 40 officers from the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies on mainstreaming the national gender policy into their plans to ensure that the rights, interests, and special needs of women and girls are integrated into policy formulation and implementation. The ministry continued to create awareness on fistula in prevalent communities, especially in the area of Mankesim and in the northern region. And it targeted the chiefs, the queen mothers, opinion leaders, and religious leaders. Indeed, activities were developed to mark the World Fistula Day. 400 Kayaye were trained in livelihood and pre-employment skills. Furthermore, a comprehensive 5-year strategic plan is being developed with a broad stakeholder consultation to eradicate the phenomenon of Kayaye. In the way forward, we'll be looking at how and where we are with Kayaye. The ministry, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, with support from the UNFPA, organized a 2-day interministerial conference on female genital mutilation as part of activities on the campaign on accelerated reduction of maternal mortality in Africa. The campaign also mobilizes political commitment and action to reduce maternal mortality in Africa. The ministry introduced some special initiatives in the area of gender. A mentorship program for girls in leadership, has been initiated to build their leadership capacity nationwide to empower girls to take active participation in developing their potential and that of their communities, as well as the nation as a whole. In relation to this, a summit was held in the Central Region for 90 students on the theme, Empowering the Girl Child for Sustainable Development of the Central Region. We are also building a database for all girls in Ghana to help identify them for support. The ministry launched the Ghana He for She campaign on Tuesday, 12 December 2017, as part of the UN Global Agenda to ensure gender equality, equity, and empowerment. The objective of the campaign is to promote the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal 5, aimed at achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. We were fortunate and blessed that His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been made the co-chair of the eminent AU Gender Champion, and he delivered the keynote address during the launch to demonstrate his political commitment to the gender issue. He is also the Ambassador Extraordinaire for the He for She campaign in Ghana. The ministry intends to launch the campaign in all regions and subsequently in districts. The child rights promotion, protection, and development. In that area, we embarked on the President's End of Year Party for 2,500 children at Chebi, and this was organized on the 22nd of December 2017. The President again graced the occasion and encouraged our children to be studious and learn to help them to contribute to the development of Mother Ghana as future leaders. The ministry has begun the process for the development of a child protection information management system for data capture, sharing, and monitoring, with support from both ends Benin and UNICEF. A technical committee on adoption has been established in March 2018 and is reviewing adoption applications to ensure that only applicants who meet the eligibility and suitability criteria are placed with adoptable children. In collaboration with the Judicial Service, all High Court judges have been sensitized on the Hague adoption procedures and the Children's Amendment Act 2016, Act 937. Also, a training workshop was held for 300 Regional Child Protection Committee members on the operational plan and reporting templates for the Child and Family Welfare Policy and Justice for Children Policy. In collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government, we launched the Ghana Against Child Abuse, GACA, movement to sensitize Ghanaians on how to protect children from abuse, violence, and exploitation in collaboration with UNICEF. In the area of social development, ladies and gentlemen, social services, the ministry developed various programs and interventions to eradicate the Kaya phenomena. And as I said, a 5-year strategic plan to eradicate this phenomena is being developed with the support of the UNFPA. Indeed, a mapping of Kaya is ongoing in the major markets across the country to gather data to inform decision making. The ministry is working with Gratis Foundation and the KNUST to manufacture robust trolleys for the Kaya and to see how far with the assemblies we can modernize our markets so that we can change the lives of these very vulnerable young women. We also plan to link these vulnerable women to smallholder farming through the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. The ministry has developed a portrait module as the solution after the eradication of the Kaya phenomena, to link women in rural communities to the government's initiatives such as the One Village, One Dam, One District, One Factory, to ensure that we begin to empower our women economically right from the source so that they don't come to the cities, and those in the cities, we protect their rights. The ministry has initiated a program dubbed Operation Get Off the Street Now for a Better Life. Everybody deserves a better life. The objective is to reduce the phenomenon of persons living on the street. with such dreams that they cannot be held back. Data collection to create a database is ongoing, with 4,098 children already registered. Shelters have also been identified for us to begin this very month to move our children and persons and families off the streets into homes, whilst we organize the reintegration for those who can go back home, those who can go back to school, and those who will be embarking on various training and capacity building activities in terms of income generating activities. In terms of social protection, Mr. Chair, the ministry conducted 6 nationwide sensitization workshops at the sub-national levels involving key stakeholders at that level on the social protection policy in 2017. As part of efforts to increase coordination among social protection programs, the Social Protection Single Window Citizen Service has been established. Under this initiative, a single window call center, the Helpline of Hope, has been launched and operationalized to receive complaints through a toll-free number, which is 0800 800 800 or 0800 900 900, and SMS on a short code 8020. So far, 268 cases ranging from disability issues, general inquiries, legal issues, financial assistance, domestic violence, psychological issues, and inquiries on social protection intervention in areas like LEAP, school feeding, and the LIPW have been received, and 196 have been addressed. The Ghana National Household Registry has successfully completed data collection in the Upper East and Upper West regions by registering 137,500 and 184,593 households respectively. As part of our efforts to ensure that all vulnerable and poor persons have access to quality care, 550,000 LEAP beneficiaries have either been registered onto the NHIS or have their expired cards renewed. The ministry also relaunched the re-registration of 13,000 plus prison inmates onto the scheme. Livelihood empowerment against poverty, to teach people how to fish and not just to give them fish. Under this program, the ministry continuously has made 6 successive bi-monthly payments to beneficiary households in 2017 and has conducted 3 payments as at May 2018, covering a total of 213,044 households nationwide. In addition, 93,778 households were targeted under LEAP expansion phase B in 42 districts in 2016 and are currently being enrolled onto the program this 2018. Furthermore, emergency LEAP cash grant was disbursed to persons who were affected by disasters, floods, rainstorms, tidal waves, and the gas explosion in 4 regions: the Bra Ahafo, Northern Region, Volta, Western Region, and we included Greater Accra in 2017. In all, a total of 2,188 beneficiaries have been covered. To foster effective collaboration and relationship with the Office of the Head of the Local Government Service, the ministry conducted 4 zonal sensitization workshops for 216 MMDCs and their coordinating directors on LEAP operations and processes. We also provide them with motorbikes, laptops, and other accessories to enable them facilitate the work that they embark on. Under the Ghana Social Opportunities Project, with funding support from the World Bank, the LEAP 2 program is currently being developed, and we will not only focus on cash transfers to beneficiary households, but also include productive and financial inclusion. We are leaving nobody out, and the expansion of LEAP will further cover close to 150,000 member households. Ghana School Feeding Program. Under the program, the ministry implemented a new caterer contracting guideline, which required caterers to purchase food items from local farmers and fishermen so that we can eat Ghana and live Ghana and breathe Ghana. 8,000 new caterers have been engaged. The program carries out routine monitoring on a daily basis to ensure that caterers adhere to program standards. This year, close to 58% of schools have been monitored, and the monitoring is ongoing. An amount of 285,304,109 Ghana cedis was released to clear arrears owed to caterers from 2015 to the end of 2017. In 2018, an amount of, I see you are happy about that, 423,930,000 Ghana cedis has been allocated by the Ministry of Finance for the school feeding program. The way to the heart of the man, to Ghana, is through the stomach, through school feeding. Through the expansion of the program of 30%, the number of beneficiary peoples have increased from 1.6 million plus to 2.174 million. This means an additional 501,536 pupils have been added to the Ghana School Feeding Program this year. Securing inclusion for persons with disability. A national dialogue was held in 2017 with 200 representatives of various disability organizations to discuss disability and related issues, including the bill. 50 stakeholders have since been sensitized on mainstreaming the provisions in the Ghana Accessibility Standard for the built environment into Ghana's building regulations. A document on the framework and strategies on disability mainstreaming in MMDAs has been developed. The provisions in the document serve as a guide to the MMDAs on how to include disability issues in development plans. In the area of human trafficking and domestic violence, the following activities have been undertaken. We finalized, printed, and disseminated the National Plan of Action on Human Trafficking to give detailed implementation plan in fighting the menace in Ghana of human trafficking. We opened Human Trafficking Fund with a seed amount of 500,000 Ghana cedis. Supported 4 shelters which are rehabilitating rescued victims of trafficking with an amount of 27,800. We have provided shelter and rehabilitation services for 159 rescued child victims and 7 adults. Ghana also joined the rest of the world to commemorate the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, known as the Blue Day, under the theme, Stakeholders Unite to End Human Trafficking. Take action now, at Senya Breku on 30th July 2017. In the area of domestic violence, the ministry organized one market women's conference at the Holy Spirit Cathedral Church for 600 market women from various markets in Accra. The aim was to interact with market women on improving childcare and facilities at various marketplaces. We have created a Facebook page, Ghana Ends Child Marriage, and Twitter at Child Marriage Ghana accounts, which are continually being used to engage audiences with the right information using the hashtag Ghana Ends Child Marriage. The Facebook page currently has over 30,000 likes, with more people visiting the page by the day. We celebrated 16 days of activism against gender-based violence with a media launch and a Deba at Asinando with the objective to raise awareness on defilement and gender-based violence on 10th December 2016. We also, the ministry, marked the International Day for Zero Tolerance against female genital mutilation with radio talks and a Deba at Pusiga, where FGM is still practiced in Ghana. This was held in February 2018. The Deba, ladies and gentlemen, attracted 1,000 people, including chiefs, over 1,000 copies of fact sheets on FGM and the Domestic Violence Act were distributed to the public. On the area, or in the area of international obligations and commitments, as a ministry, we have embarked on a number of international commitments, and these include the 61st and 62nd sessions of the UN Commission on the Status of Women in New York in 2017 and 2018, respectively. The 28th session of the Universal Periodic Review Working Group from 6th to 17th November was held this 2017 in Geneva. The 7th and 8th sessions of the UN Open-Ended Working Group on Aging was also embarked on at the UN headquarters. The 2017 and 2018 United Nations Commission on Social Protection and the 10th session of the UN Conference of State Parties to the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities was embarked on in June 2017, and we will be going again this June 2018. Indeed, Ghana has an expert that we are presenting on the Committee of Experts on the Convention on the Rights of Disability at the UN level, in the name and person of Mrs. Gertrude Fefuami, a very special woman. There is no life without challenges. Our challenges, Mr. Chairman, in spite of the successes that the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has, by the grace of God, the support of our able staff and the people of Ghana, chalked over the years, are still Herculean. Developing a nation is not easy. At the ministry, we don't build roads, we build people, and the people are so diverse, each so unique, that indeed you'll have to have special sensitivity to be able to address the diversity and the variety of issues that emerge on a daily basis. Number one is the inadequate funding for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection's activities, and the delay in the release of the funds, especially to the Ghana School Feeding Program caterers. Inadequate staff to meet expanded mandate, inadequate office space to accommodate the entire ministry. The rest, Eshenebo. Awards. Our immense contribution to the promotion, protection, and welfare of these very vulnerable people has gained recognition at both national and international levels, much to my surprise. I didn't realize that the world was watching us. In 2017, the Imani Center for Policy and Education adjudged the ministry the most inspirational public sector institution in Ghana. In 2018, the ministry was also awarded for our outstanding contribution to gender and children's rights during the African Public Sector Conference Awards in Kigali. At the same event, I was also awarded a special recognition for promoting gender equality in the country. Just recently, far away in Brussels, the ministry also received the European Award for Best Practices in Belgium from the European Society for Quality Research. Ghana is on the map and the world is watching us. And so for the way forward, the ministry will continue to implement the planned programs and projects in line with the sector's policies and objectives in the areas of gender, children, and social protection. The ministry will hold the first ever First Ladies of Africa's Conference on ending child marriage and other harmful traditional and cultural practices jointly with the second AU Girls Summit in August, in collaboration with the First Lady's Office, the Office of the President, and the AU Commission. Mr. Chairman, our presentation has demonstrated that the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is working to make life better for the vulnerable and the excluded, to ensure that no one is left out or behind in the socio-economic development of our country. People of Ghana, there is no turning back for the poor, for the vulnerable, for the discriminated against, for the disabled, we can only move forward. You cannot run with your one leg tied. We must right the wrongs against vulnerable people, against people who are discriminated against the poor, persons with disability. And to do that is a collective responsibility. I urge you that we must pass the values that matter most to us, the mantle, the mantra of responsibility in the area of discipline to our children, our future leaders, the next generation of Ghanaians. What we do today in the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection will close the intergenerational gap that exists. And so, it is our cause, it is our commitment, it is our determination to ensure that all Ghanaians, leaving nobody out, take control of their own destinies. Ghana must have persons with disability, persons with vulnerability, poor people coming to the table of decision making. We cannot leave them out. Anything that affects anybody, the stakeholder, the actor, must be part of that decision making. We must find a way as a people to look after each other as a community of Ghanaians. Nobody will do it for us. We must share the knowledge and the resources in a manner that even the most poor will feel that it is okay to be disabled. It is okay to be a woman. It is fantastic to be a child. It is important that as we talk and evolve, as we build our nation, we understand the dream of our forefathers, and that what unites us is more than what divides us. We must find it in ourselves to break the barriers of the taboos that have worked against us, of the negative and the harmful practices that engulf us. Seeing all these people on the streets begging is a sign that all is not well with our body politics, because we are the black star of Africa, the jewel of Africa. There is no stopping Ghana, and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection will continue to improve and expand on the government's social protection interventions to ensure that we secure today for tomorrow's Ghana. Thank you very much.